Hey everybody, it's ZeroTolerance55 and I'm back again with another Star Wars The Old Republic Explained video. I received a lot of good feedback on my general backstory video, and if you're here looking for the backstory to the game, go check out the video, the link's in the description. But I did receive a lot of requests on more information about certain characters, so in this video I'm tackling the topic of the Sith Emperor. I feel like I really underplayed his involvement and strength in my last video, and I had a couple users and viewers say, hey, I would like more information on him, so I decided to do a vid on his entire backstory. So here we go. The Sith Emperor was born in the decades before the Great Hyperspace War. He was born to a family of farmers with the name of Tenebrae. It was said that he never cried, even as an infant, and that his voice carried a power and weight that no child should have. At the age of 6, he started showing signs of being strong in the Force, and since neither of his parents were, his father became suspicious of the child's true parentage. His father confronted his mother, who confessed to having an affair with the Sith Lord who ruled the planet at the time, and then he attacked her. Tenebrae fed off his own anger as well as his father's and used the Force to break his father's neck and torture his mother for her unfaithfulness before finally killing her. He used his newfound powers to force others to bow down to him, and his reputation spread as he used his powers to satisfy his appetite for suffering. Lord Dermath, a Sith Lord and the boy's true father, watched his son grow in power, and when the boy was only 10 years old, he confronted the child. Even though he was only 10 years old, Tenebrae demonstrated amazing powers in the Force, stripping his father of his Force powers and driving him insane before finally killing him. Over the next few years, he took over his home planet, becoming its new leader and attracting the attention of the ruler of the Sith Empire, Marker Ragnos. Ragnos bestowed upon him the title of Lord Vitiate, allowing him to rule his world and study the dark side in peace. When Ragnos died much later, other Sith Lords struggled for control of the Empire, while Vitiate hung back in the shadows and waited. After the defeat of the Sith Empire in the Great Hyperspace War, he emerged from his isolation to summon the remaining Sith Lords to join him so together they could unlock the full power of the dark side. The other Sith were reluctant to join him since he was more of a scholar rather than a warrior and didn't even fight in the Great Hyperspace War. Nevertheless, when the Supreme Chancellor of the Republic ordered the extermination of the Sith, many of them were afraid of being killed by the Jedi Knights. Lord Vitiate used this fear of extermination to rally the weaker Sith Lords, all while having his scientists secretly search for the location of Dromund Kaas. Once the weaker Sith Lords arrived, he crushed their will and made them his slaves. In one of the most complex Sith rituals ever attempted, Vitiate consumed the Sith Lords, annihilating them and destroying every trace of life on his home planet, absorbing their Force energy. This in turn made him immortal, and he declared himself the Sith Emperor. The Emperor blamed the destruction of his homeworld on the Jedi, using this fear to rally the remaining Sith to follow him to a hidden world where the Jedi would no longer find them. He didn't lead them straight to Dromund Kaas, however, but rather he led them on a long journey that increased their dependency on him to the point of them basically worshiping him as a god. Eventually, he did lead the group to Dromund Kaas, where he decided to reestablish the Sith Empire with himself at the head. He sought to create an order that would eventually control the galaxy, and the remaining Sith flocked to his banner. He then created the Dark Council, which ran the day-to-day operations of the Empire. About 2 years before the Mandalorian Wars, the Emperor sent a Sith emissary to the leader of the Mandalorians. It was revealed to Mandalore, who is the leader of the Mandalorians, that the Sith had a vision of the Mandalorians crushing the Republic in a glorious victory, and Mandalore fell for the bait. Little did he know, the Sith used the power of the dark side to manipulate him and begin a war that would eventually weaken the Republic. At the conclusion of the Mandalorian War, Mandalore, while on his deathbed, revealed to the Jedi Knight Revan about the existence of the Sith Empire. Having found this out, Revan and his friend and fellow Jedi Knight Malak began their search for the Sith. After a while, they eventually discovered Dromund Kaas and the Emperor's plan to invade the Republic. They found a guard willing to sneak them into the Citadel, but it was all a setup. The Emperor broke their wills, turned them into puppets, and secretly sent Revan and Malak out to recover the Star Forge, which was a war factory that the Sith wanted to use to build up their forces for when they decided to return to the galaxy. Revan and Malak complied and initiated the Jedi Civil War. As they searched for the Star Forge, they used their newfound powers of the dark side to break the Emperor's stranglehold over their mind. However, they still succumbed to the darkness. The Emperor then assumed they failed because he lost contact with them and went back to his original plan to slowly build up his strength for invasion. The events of the Knights of the Old Republic games then take place. I'm going to have 2 more videos on that because I got a lot of requests for that. But in short, Revan returns to the light side and defeats Malak, who has declared himself as the new Dark Lord of the Sith. It's a lot more complicated than that, and there's a lot more details, but I'm doing it in another video because I got a lot of requests for that. Following those events, Revan went in search of the Emperor and disappeared. It was also revealed to the Emperor that there was a conspiracy on the Dark Council to replace him, so he slaughtered the entire Dark Council, including those who weren't involved in the conspiracy. He later replaced them with Sith he could easily control and manipulate. Even though the conspiracy was real, its revelation was used as a distraction so that Mitra Surik, who is the Jedi exile from Knights of the Old Republic 2, could sneak in and rescue Revan, who was a prisoner on Dromund Kaas. After freeing him, they attempted to slay the Emperor. In their attack, Surik was killed and Revan was incapacitated by the Empire's first lightning and captured. He was imprisoned in a state between life and death, with the Emperor feeding off his energy and trying to learn about the Republic through torture. Little did the Emperor know, Revan was doing his best to resist, exploiting the Emperor's caution, patience, and fear to delay the invasion of the Republic. It worked for about 300 years before the Emperor decided it was time to invade. The Sith Emperor led his people in one of the best orchestrated attacks in Star Wars history. The Empire ravaged the galaxy and ended up taking control about half of it before offering up a peace treaty. It's rumored that Revan's influence over the Emperor's mind is what led the Emperor to declare a peace treaty, because Revan convinced him that that's what was best for the Empire. The Emperor led the Empire throughout the entire campaign, but when it ended, he gave control to the Dark Council in order to pursue his own dark, mysterious goals. At that point, this is where Star Wars The Old Republic begins. I hope I gave everyone all the information they wanted on the Emperor. I know it was a lot and it was really quick, but I think I covered almost all of it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned because I do have Knights of the Old Republic videos coming soon. I have a lot of people asking for those, so I hope you liked it, and subscribe if you enjoyed.